here and welcome back to another Supergirl episode review. My thoughts on tonight's episode of Supergirl titled Strange Visitor from Another Planet. And this was an episode that I was really looking forward to, mostly because of the whole White Martian angle of it and dealing with John Jones and his struggle with the whole White Martian thing. And, because being the DC comic fan that I am, I know the history of Martian Manhunter and his origin, how the White Martians are tied in with his origin. And I really want to see that, come to life on the show. And this show, I love how it's embracing its comic bookness. I mean, yes, there's some episodes where it's we don't need the melodrama romantic bullshit, that a lot of these TV shows tend to do, I guess, to keep the normal audience, I guess. But besides that, I think it was a really, really good episode. I mean, besides, I'll get into my problems with the episode later, but starting out, this episode was a really emotionally powerful episode. And in those, with the trend of the show, it's better episodes are when it's revolved around an emotional backbone, or it's an emotionally centric episode. When we see how, the White Martians have affected Hank, or I'm just going to call him John Jones in this episode, and how it affected John Jones, and even, again, being the comic book fan that I am, I'm aware that, the White Martians slaughtered his race and his family. We saw that bit of an origin in the Justice League animated cartoon. We've seen that in various forms in the comic books. But seeing it brought to live action, and, this show being the show that it is, I haven't always expected the greatest of CGI. But even then, the Martians, even though they obviously are CGI, I love the look of the Martians. Because when you would imagine a live action Martian Manhunter, even when the character was in Smallville, they didn't utilize the Martian Manhunter aspect of it, because they had him in his John Jones, the human form, pretty much the entire time, except for one brief scene where his skin turns green because of Dr. Fate. But that's a whole nother show. But seeing the Martians in their real form, and seeing, I'm loving what the show was doing with the Martian Manhunter character. And I'm glad that they decided to do that with the Hank Henshaw character, because, in the first started, we didn't know what angle they were going to go with him, whether it was Cyborg Superman or Martian Manhunter. A lot of us assumed it was going to be Martian Manhunter after the first couple of episodes, and we were right. But again, seeing this episode and seeing John's struggle with it, and the fact that he can't even go into his true form, otherwise the White Martian will find out where he is and who he is. And seeing how the slaughtering of his wife and daughters, how it really affected him, and it's just, that's always an aspect of the character that I really, really sympathize with, because obviously I don't want to go into the whole every superhero has to have a dark origin, but seeing how that affected him as a character and why he's doing what he's doing in this particular episode, I completely sympathize with him. But it's obviously he's thinking a little rashly because he's not emotionally, in the right state. I loved how they handled Martian Manhunter in this episode. I loved how they handled John Jones as a character, not just the Martian Manhunter version of it. And the White Martian looked awesome. For the CGI and for being on TV, I think it looks great. And it was a great villain, how they had the twist of, it turned out to be, it took the form of the Senator, who was all anti-alien. And it was so weird to see that actress played pretty much the White Martian the entire episode, considering, the only thing I've ever really seen her in was the first season of Heroes, and I loved her in that. And to see her go from more, I guess, quote-unquote, heroic role, no pun intended, going from that show to something like this, where she's, very, kind of bigoted, and she's kind of that world's Donald Trump, almost. I don't want to get too political here, but, you guys understand what I'm trying to say, right? But I love that whole angle of the episode. I love, how Kara was really trying to, humanize John Jones when he was thinking rashly. She's like, don't do that. Be who would your family be proud of? And seeing her try to pull him back. Once you go down that path, once you kill the White Martian, that's it. They've won. You might still be here, but John Jones will be dead. The last son of Mars will be dead. And I love the whole emotional aspect of this episode. It was a really great, and that aspect, again, a really, really solid episode. And anything else I might have missed up? Even though last week was a whole Win-centric and the whole Toyman thing, I did like how in this episode, obviously, Win is still trying to be distant. And by the end of the episode, Win's what? It's I hope you have a good day. Or he made some comment. And I think he's like, oh, have a nice day or something. And it goes to show like Win isn't just being a whiny little annoying person, you know? Because of course, in any other show, they could be like, oh, he's got to throw a little hissy fit because he got rejected, blah blah blah. But it's like he still, like I said last week, like he still retains those feelings for her, but he still cares about Kara. And yes, he needs a space to just kind of like recover a bit. But it's like he still like respects her enough to at least like address her, or like even though it's awkward, like he's saying like, hey, like I hope you have a good day, blah blah blah. And it shows a maturity in the character that I didn't think was really there in the beginning of the series. But again, I love, even though there was a couple quick scenes there. Even this will lead into my negatives. I liked how Kara was throughout the entire episode trying to help everyone with their emotional problems and dealing with family issues and all that stuff. Even with the Cat Grant stuff. But to go into my negatives, as I understand what they're doing with the whole Cat's son angle of it. I like that they're bringing like the family aspect of it into the show. I hate that they're bringing the character in as another love interest. I don't like going into full rant mode because then everyone gets mad and I get a lot of dislikes and all that stuff. And it's not like I care about the dislikes or anything. It's just I don't like when these superhero shows just bring in characters just for love interests. I don't like it at all. And it's not just like I don't like superheroes dating in general. I'm not saying that at all. But when they're just bringing in characters just to be a love interest, I don't like that at all. It's like you bring in characters that are already there, or already established as like potential love interests. Don't bring in someone in that you know is already going to be temporary. Like they did that last year with The Flash. They brought in the Linda Park character. She's only, I mean, she came back around, but initially she was only there for a few episodes as a love interest. Of course, they threw her aside for the rest of the season. I didn't like that. And I don't like what they're doing with this whole Adam character. And I think it's the actor who's actually married to Melissa Benoist, who plays Supergirl. So, of course, it's like, okay, that they already have that natural chemistry, because they're married. But I don't like the fact that bringing this character in pretty much just as a love interest. I don't. And I've already seen promo pics of them, like, making out from, like, the next episode or whatever. And I know, like, as fans, like, anyone who has common sense, know it's not going to last. I just don't like when these shows do this. And if it's the same showrunners, show creators. So, they keep bringing in this same kind of plot lines from show to show to show. And I noticed they've done it in the first season of these shows. Like, they did it first season of Arrow with the McKenna Hall character. They did it first season of Flash with the Linda Park character. Now they're doing it with this guy. And it's around the same time period of each show. Like this time last year was Flash. The year before that was... Or 2 years before that was the one on Arrow. So it's like, I know it's not going to last, but I'm not looking forward to it. And, I mean, again, as the whole angle of bringing Cat's son in and seeing in a more emotional side of Cat, I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that thoroughly. And, of course, I love the development of Cat as a character, because she's a character I really didn't care for at all when they first came out with her. But now she's a character that's really starting to grow on me. I don't like the whole low blows to Lois Lane, because it's a character that can't come in to defend herself, and the writers keep throwing that in. But as a whole, I'm enjoying the character more and more, and I do like seeing the more human side of Kat than the very stern boss that she's been the entire show. I do like seeing more human aspects to her, and in that aspect, I did like the introduction of the Adam character. I don't like the use of him as a love interest. If he was just introduced as another character for the show and wasn't a love interest at all, I wouldn't mind that. I mean, I really wouldn't. It's just when they bring him in just as another love interest, which is pretty much the reason they brought him in. And yes, you can say, oh, they brought him in, to introduce Cat's son. It's really just to be a love interest, and he's going to be gone before the end of the season. But, besides that, I really enjoyed this episode. I enjoyed all the character dynamics, even some of the scenes between Kara and Adam. Again, a really, really solid episode, and I'm looking forward to next week's episode, which is the whole Bizarro episode, or Bizarro Supergirl episode. And I'm really looking forward to these next couple of episodes, because they're really comic book character centric. That's why, this show I think does better when it's embracing more of its comic bookness and trying not so hard to do something else. As I know, with most shows on TV, in order to capture the regular audience, they have to introduce these dumb love triangles or bring in these love interests. But as a comic book fan, I do enjoy when they bring in more comic book centric storylines and episodes, and so we're going to be seeing a little more of that. So I'm really excited. I just hope that this show doesn't get too cheesy with this whole romantic thing. That's always been a big gripe of mine. But yeah. So guys, I think that's gonna be it from me. So if you guys like what you see here, go ahead and hit subscribe below. I do content pretty much every day of the week. I review, obviously, Supergirl on Monday nights. I review Flash on Tuesdays, Arrow on Wednesdays, the new DC show Legend of Tomorrow on Thursdays. So I have content pretty much every day of the week. I do trailer reviews. I just did the Suicide Squad trailer from last week. That's all up on my channel. I have movie reviews and all that kind of stuff if you guys are interested. So yeah, that's going to be it from me, guys. So until next time, have a good one.